With many different violent acts being committed all over the US and even the world every year by children and young adults, especially, violent video games and video games in general have taken a lot of the backlash and are being put to blame by many parents for inducing these violent actions and causing these violent behaviors in children. Today, I'm going to show and talk to you about how violent video games actually have no place in harming children or producing violent behaviors in them. Specifically, I'll be talking about how children playing violent video games can actually allow children to relieve their pent-up anger and stress, how they can help children develop their moral compasses and know what things are right and wrong, and how instead of harming children, violent video games and video games in general can actually provide many benefits to them, especially if played long term. I personally have played video games, especially violent ones, since I was extremely young, and have had many friends who I'm still friends with today who have also done the same. So I can speak personally on how games, and violent ones especially, can affect your mind and influence your actions and behaviors as you grow. So the first point that I'll be talking about and discussing is how violent video games can help children relieve their pent-up stress and anger. According to a study done at Texas A&M International University, young adults who played violent video games for long term actually handled stress better than those who did not, and they became less depressed and or hostile after completing a stressful task in-game. That very same study at Texas A&M University also states that there is no actual link between violent video games causing aggression or violent activities and or crime. The next thing that I'll be talking about is how video games can be a great helping hand in helping children develop their moral compasses and knowing what's right and wrong. So, according to a study led by Matthew Grizzard at the University of Buffalo, violent video games actually can lead to increased moral sensitivity and can lead to an increase in kinder behavior towards others. According to this very same study, it was also found that people who commit immoral behaviors in-game often afterwards are struck with feelings of guilt at the things they have done. The next thing I will talk about is the benefits that one can get from playing video games and how these things can be even more beneficial if done and started from a young age. Playing video games can not only improve your cognitive skills, they can also improve your hand-eye coordination and can even improve your quick decision-making skills and your decision-making skills overall. According to a study led by Vivian Coves Masfetti and other researchers, high usage of video games and playing them was associated with 1.75 times the odds of intellectual high functioning and 1.88 times the odds of high overall school competence. Many popular violent video games that you may or may not have heard of, like Call of Duty and Battlefield, are very fast-paced games and require you to input many different commands very fast to succeed and do well in these games. And doing these commands precisely and at such a high speed can vastly improve your hand-eye coordination, especially in children who play these from a young age when their brains are still developing. In many different violent survival and player versus player games, or PvP games, a single split-second decision can mean life or death in these. And people who play games like these on a daily basis and are constantly making these very fast-paced decisions, often under very stressful situations, can improve decision-making ability and accuracy in making quick and correct decisions. As our discussion today comes to a close, I hope that today I've shown and assured you that violent games do not harm children or cause them to show violent behavior. As I've shown here today, violent video games can help children to relieve their pent-up stress and anger. They can help children to develop their moral compasses and show kinder behavior to others and know what things are right and wrong. And opposite from harm, playing violent, fast-paced games can not only improve your cognitive skills, They also improve your hand-eye coordination and your decision-making. I hope that in this short time today, listening to me speak, that you have learned that violent video games are not actually as harmful as you thought, and that despite these games being violent, they just might make you even more kind than when you first started playing them. Thank you.